This is the story of the Groote Eylandt Aboriginal Trust, or GEAT. It's a very important story, and it will help you understand why GEAT was created, what it does and how it does it. The Wonundilyaakwa people have lived on Groote Eylandt for tens of thousands of years and have a long history of trade dating back to the 1600s when the Macassans first came in search of treepang. Next came the Dutch in 1644, who named the island Groote, meaning great or large. In 1921, the Church Missionary Society arrived bringing with them the Christian Bible and a strong sense of social justice. And in the 1930s, Englishman and treepang trader Fred Gray settled Umbakamba, which became a refuelling point for Qantas flying boats and a Royal Australian Air Force flying base in World War II. After the war, the Church Missionary Society came over from Anurugu to run the community of Umbakamba as well. Why? The story of GEAT starts with the Church Missionary Society in the 1950s and 60s, a long time before anyone in white Australia understood about land rights and Aboriginal relationship to the land. Around this time there was a lot of mining exploration being undertaken in northern Australia. The missionaries knew that manganese was on the island and they applied for a permit to explore. When BHP expressed an interest in mining, the missionaries used their rights to negotiate on behalf of the Wonundilyaakwa people. The missionaries believed that the Wonundilyaakwa were the true owners of the land, and that mining on their land should be for their benefit and development. They had a very big vision. They wanted the Wonundilyaakwa people to prosper from mining for many generations, even after mining finished. In 1963, the Church Missionary Society and BHP agreed on royalty payments to allow mining. The agreement was not for one payment, but for a share of the profits as long as the mining continued. In 1965, GEMCO began mining and paying royalties to the Church Missionary Society. The missionaries wanted the Wonundilyaakwa people to benefit from the profits of the mining, to improve their lives and have a say in how the money would be spent. In 1969, they established the Groote Eylandt Aboriginal Trust. Since then, GEAT has operated as a charitable trust for the benefit of the Wonundilyaakwa people. What? Since 1969, GEAT has received royalties from mining, and it has also invested past royalties so that now it receives investment income as well. GEAT takes that income and applies it according to strict laws and rules. The laws apply to all charitable trusts, and the rules are created through an agreement known as the trust deed. In 1976, the government created the Land Rights Act to recognise traditional ownership of the land. This gave traditional owners across the Northern Territory the right to receive royalties from mining on their land. The Unundilyaakwa Land Council was established under the Land Rights Act in 1991. The royalties received by the Unundilyaakwa Land Council and GEAT both come from the same mining, but the rules about how they can be spent are very different. The Land Council follows the rules set by the Land Rights Act. GEAT follows the rules set out in the trust deed. To really understand GEAT, we need to think about that word, trust. In legal terms, the word trust means that GEAT is being trusted with ownership of assets to be used for a strict purpose. The trust is made up of the trustee, trust property and beneficiaries. The trustee can be one person or a group of people acting as one. In GEAT's case, the Attorney General appoints committee members to an incorporated association, which is made up of people from the three main communities on Groote Eylandt and other experts. The association is called GEAT Incorporated and is the trustee of the trust. GEAT Inc. is responsible for managing the trust. Together, the committee members make the decisions of the trustee. They are required by law to follow the rules set out in the trust deed. The trust deed says that the mining royalties must be used for charitable purposes only, not simply given to a person or people. It also says that the mining royalties must benefit the traditional owners of Groote Eylandt in perpetuity. This means forever. That is why the beneficiaries are the people living today, and the next generation, and the generations after that. Beneficiaries are not entitled to the trust property just because they are members of the group. The committee members are trusted to help anyone from that group who needs it, but are limited to the ways that a charity may give assistance under the law. If they do the wrong thing, then trust is broken and GEAT is broken. How? To make sure that GEAT fulfills its purpose of being there to help future generations of Wurundjeri people, it will have to make its own income by the time the mining finishes. To do this, the trustee invests some of the royalties and other income it receives, as well as making charitable grants. The trust deed sets out strict rules about what is a charitable grant and what is not. GEAT can make charitable grants for the purpose of looking after the health and well-being of people who are sick, elderly or disabled. It can help to pay for cultural activities, ceremony and funeral expenses. It can also help to fund sports, education and training. Other charitable purposes are listed in the trust deed. In addition to making charitable grants for the people today, the committee must also make sure that GEAT can continue to make grants after mining ends. For this to happen, GEAT will have to make its own income by the time the mining finishes. That is why the trustee invests some of the royalties and other income it receives. Just like the missionaries back in 1921. The committee must have clever minds, good hearts and a big vision. They are trusted with helping the Wurundjeri people today and for all future generations. This was the missionaries' vision, and it's GEAT's vision now and forever.